Ah, traveler, it's always good to see you. I have a tale, if you have time to listen.
Most people think the lantern is salvation. Warm light, safe ground, a place to wait until the danger passes. But the people who stay too long stop leaving. Because somewhere out in the fog, something walks the graveyard paths, and when the bells ring, it comes looking for runners. Rodney pried them off, trying not to think too hard about the grey sludge still occupying the fingers. The old gloves peeled away with a soft, wet tear. He dropped them, swallowed bile, and shoved his own hands into the gauntlets instead. They were loose across the palm, tight over the fingers. When he made a fist to test them, creak. The leather at the wrist strained. A few threads popped. Yeah, that tracks, he sighed. Whoever had these last tried to punch something they absolutely should not have. He flexed again, slower. The metal shifted around his knuckles, promising a little more security if he needed to block, or punch, or cling to life by his fingernails. He stepped back and took stock. Sword, shield, rotting chainmail, damaged greaves, janky gauntlets, borrowed boots, bent helmet. He looked like a knight built out of garbage and graveyard scrap. He should have felt epic. Instead, he just felt temporary. Every piece of gear creaked, rattled, or cracked when he moved. The shield's web of fractures, the chainmail's missing rings, the helmet that didn't sit quite straight, the greaves that spat teeth. None of this was built for him. None of this would last. It felt less like armor and more like wearing a sign that said, "Please break me." Rodney let out a shaky breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "Congratulations," he told his reflection in the shield's dull surface. "You are now officially Graveyard Trash Knight, first of his name, breakable as hell." Behind him, Frank's whisper never stopped. "Lantern warm, lantern safe, don't stray, don't stray." Rodney glanced back at the post. The lantern burned bright and golden now, nothing like the sickly green lamps scattered elsewhere. The flame flickered slow, steady, casting a small circle of clean light in the suffocating gloom. Frank sat almost shoulder to metal with it, like a half-frozen dog hogging the only heater vent in a house. The closer Rodney looked, the more he realized something unnerving. The fog refused to cross the light's boundary. It lapped at the edge of the glow like a tide that couldn't quite come in. Sanctuary. Or a lure. He wasn't sure which thought bothered him more. "Hey," he said quietly. "Frank, right?" The hollowed man didn't answer. He just rocked, eyes locked on the lantern, lips still moving. Rodney stepped closer, armor rattling softly. "Frank," he tried again. "Come on, buddy. You with me?" A beat. Frank's head twitched a fraction of an inch in his direction, though his gaze never left the flame. "Warm glow," he whispered. "Warm gods. Don't leave. Don't leave." Rodney wet his lips. "What's up ahead?" he asked. "If I follow that big light out there?" He jerked his chin vaguely in the direction he knew the holy beam was waiting, beyond the graveyard. "What's waiting for me? Is that where she is? The goddess?" Frank's rocking slowed. For a moment, the whispering stopped. When he spoke again, his voice felt thinner, strained, like words were fighting their way out past ice. "Run from the shadow," he murmured. "Run fast. Before the bell." Rodney frowned. "That's not an answer. What shadow? What bell?" Frank's fingers tightened around his own knees. "The bell," he said. "The bell calls him. Calls it. Calls them." His shoulders hunched deeper. "Don't be here when it rings." A chill crawled under Rodney's armor. "What is it?" he asked. "The big bastard stomping around out there?" The one the shield guy tried to tank and lost. Frank's head tilted just enough that Rodney could see his eyes, cloudy, unfocused, but shimmering faintly with some emotion too worn out to name. "Grave Warden," Frank whispered. "He walks when the bell calls. He breaks nights. He breaks bones. His rock slowed. "He doesn't like runners." Rodney's mouth went dry. The image of the caved-in shield flashed in his mind. The spiderweb fractures creeping outward. The feel of the ground shaking when that enormous silhouette moved in the fog. "Okay," he mumbled. "So, giant undead boss dude. Probably hates me on sight. Maybe hates everyone on sight. Love that. That's great." Frank turned his gaze back to the lantern. "Don't stray," he murmured again. "Lantern warm. Lantern safe. Stay. Sit. Fade." The last word hung there like a threat wrapped in a lullaby. Rodney looked at him for a long moment. This was what staying did to you. You survived. You didn't die. You didn't move. You just wore down until nothing was left but habits and whispers and a flame you were too afraid to walk away from. His fingers flexed involuntarily inside the gauntlets. You could stay. Wait here. Farm weak zombies at the edges until his brain melted and his gear disintegrated. Slow death. Or he could walk that road, toward the light and the thing Frank was too broken to describe properly. Fast death. Or maybe something else. He glanced one more time at the broken bodies around the crossroads, at the cracks in his shield, at the loose rings scattered in the dirt like metal tears. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a guy who'd accidentally modded his Isekai run onto nightmare difficulty and couldn't find the settings menu. "All right," Rodney said softly. "I get it. Lantern good, giant bad, bell very bad. But I can't just sit here and turn into a loading screen NPC." Frank did not answer. Rodney looked down the road leading away from the crossroads. The fog leaned over it like a jaw. The distant holy beam cut through the sky in that direction, a pale, unwavering spear of light. Somewhere between here and there, something big walked and listened for bells. His heart started pounding again. He adjusted the shield on his arm. The metal groaned. Another hairline fracture formed near the rim. "Don't you dare," he muttered at it. "You break on me before I even see this guy, I swear to God." The shield stayed together. For now. He took a step toward the road. Frank's whisper floated after him, thin and fraying. "It pulls you back," the hollowed man murmured. "When they run, it drags them home." Rodney stopped. He didn't turn around. "What does?" he asked quietly. Silence. Then, so soft he almost didn't hear it. "The world." Rodney closed his eyes for a second. "Yeah," he whispered. "Kinda figured." He opened them again and started walking. The lantern's glow receded behind him. The fog crept closer with every step, trying to reclaim ground it had lost. The air grew colder, heavier, tasting faintly of iron and ash. Somewhere in the distance, metal scraped stone. A slow, heavy step followed. Rodney swallowed, balanced the sword in his right hand, raised the cracked shield on his left. "Okay, big guy," he muttered under his breath, voice barely audible over the pounding of his own heart. "You broke the last team. Let's see what you do to garbage armor." He walked deeper into the graveyard, leaving the crossroads behind. The lantern's warm circle of safety vanished into the fog. And ahead, somewhere unseen, something large and patient waited on the gravewood path. Next time. The bells will toll, the fog will move, and the grave warden will answer.
Wasn't that interesting? Now don't forget to subscribe for more.
And ring the bell for your server.